Words are tools. This is the brain's the software, your body's the hardware. He had different coding of the software, which is your brain, that changed better pictures, better emotions, better beliefs.
Welcome back to another episode of The Pursuit of Purpose. My name is Chris Kiefer, and today I have a little bit of a different episode for you. I am jumping into a conversation, or a presentation, I should say, that Collin Henderson gave to the Coeur du Christ Saints men's basketball team. And this is a conversation on mindset. I'm telling you, this is absolutely just tremendous. One of my favorite lines from this talk that Colin gave is, you can never outperform your self-image. And this applies, obviously, in this case, he's talking to some varsity basketball players. But if you're a business owner, there are so many nuggets. If you have kids, there are things in here that you need to take away and apply back to your life. So without further ado, let's go into this talk that Collin Henderson gave to the men's basketball team, and hope you enjoy it.
So you guys got a game tonight?
We have a game tonight.
Come on, you getting fired up? Let's go. We got game time, baby. I love it. Well, thanks for having me. Thanks, Chris, for the intro. Excited to spend time with you. And as he mentioned, college student athlete, played football and baseball at Washington State, played basketball in high school. I still play a lot of hoops. Hey, get me on the court and I'm trouble. Last week, messed around and got a triple-double. Your boy likes to shoot. I'm on the court. I'm in range. I'm just saying. Don't. But I got into this profession really because I used to struggle with confidence. I struggled with belief. And I remember my junior year at Washington State, I was going into the offseason. I had a really good true freshman year playing football with the Cougs. I started as a true freshman, slot wide receiver, punt returner. Sophomore year, have y'all heard of the sophomore slump?
Yeah.
So you have a good first year, and maybe you weren't expecting it, so you put all this pressure on yourself for the second year, and I was not present, was not clear, was getting self-worth tied to performance, putting all this pressure on myself, and I struggled. So going into my junior year, I'm thinking, all right, I'm an upperclassman, like this is the year. I'm going to attack the weight room. I'm going to attack running routes, catching footballs, and this has got to be the year. So I did that. Got crazy in the weight room, just lifting a ton. Was catching 100 passes a day, running routes every day, getting fast, getting my skills as a receiver dialed in. Had a great spring season, great summer, great fall camp. Balled out in the fall. We opened that season on Thursday night on ESPN against Idaho, and like 2 hours before the game, I had this panic attack. So overwhelmed, so anxious, so much fear. I dropped 2 passes that game. I only had 9 catches that entire season. And as I've aged and I've learned what I know now, this is what I learned. If you're taking notes, write this down. There are 3 things we can train as performers. 3 things we can train as performers. There are 3 things we can train as performers. Our body, our craft, and our mind. Our body, our craft, and our mind. So if you're listening to that story, what of those 3 did I train?
Body.
Yeah, body. Man, y'all was hitting the weights, man. Cleans, pull-ups, push-ups, dips, squats, core. I was training craft, as in my skills as a receiver, right? What was I doing for that? Running routes, catching balls. What was the third area I didn't even touch?
Mind.
The mind. So you think putting up 500 shots is going to guarantee you're going to make a shot in the game? Well, it's hard to make shots if you're not present, if you're not focused, if you're not playing free. Have you ever warmed up and couldn't miss a shot in the game? You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn? Has that happened to you before? Yeah. Or some days you can't make a shot in the game. You get hot. So all today is to give you just 1 or 2 skills. If you want to be the best in the world, you want to be your best as a basketball player, as a human being, you can't just lift weights. You can't just practice, dribbling and shooting and passing. The elite performers have found ways to train their mind. Who are some GOATs in basketball? Give me some names. GOATs.
Kobe and MJ.
Kobe and MJ. Let's go. So let's stop right there. Do you know that Kobe Bryant and MJ had a mental coach named George Mumford, who was with Phil Jackson? They both say George Mumford was one of their reasons why they're elite, because they practiced mindfulness, how to stay present, how to be clear. They didn't just grind on the court. They were able to find ways to train their mind. So you can think this is soft and woo-woo, but we just talked about goats. The goats are doing the work. They're not the best because they're the most strongest, fastest, or tallest. It's because they're the most elite mentally. Now, is that by design or is that by default? It's by design. So I'm going to do a mental workout. Hey, are y'all awake yet? Your boy's on one right now on a Friday. Everybody stand up, please. Come on, stand up. Hey, are we going chain out or chain in? Are we going chain out or chain in tonight, fellas? What do you think? Hey, chain out, baby. Let them know. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to spread out in the room a little bit. Spread out in the room. Okay, spread out. I'm going to show you a physical example of how you can train your body, you can train your craft, and you can train your mind. And if you get that mental training, how much better you're able to execute and perform. Who wants to ball out tonight? Who wants to ball? Who wants to be a straight savage? Who wants to have a great year? Who wants to bring it for this school, for this team? All right. Well, everyone's training their body. Everyone's training their skills, but are you training their mind? This is a competitive edge. All right. I want your feet planted. And I want your right arm out in front like this. Put your right arm point at me, or point at the screen. Don't move your feet. What I want you to do with your feet planted, I want you to use your core. I want you to turn all the way to the right. How far can you turn with your feet not moving? So we're going to turn to the right. Ready, set, go. How far can you turn? Take a mental picture of how far you can go. All right, come back. Come back. All right, we did a rep physically. Now let's do a rep mentally. Put your hands down. Eyes closed. Now I want you to visualize and get a mental rep. We're not going to move our body. We're going to use our mind to see and feel ourselves executing and going beyond. Okay? Imagine your arm is out in front of you, and imagine and feel your core and your trunk twisting to the right. With your eyes closed, you're getting a mental rep. You're closing your eyes, you're visualizing and imagining, feel your body twist in your mind. Now move it down to your core. Feel your core activate. Let's go. Feel yourself twist. Feel your body turn. Push yourself all the way around. Go further. Feel yourself going 360. Let's go. Push yourself. Come on. Feel your body turn. Go, go, go. Feel it inside. Activate that core. All right. I promise you I've only had 2 cups of coffee today. All right, eyes open. Come on. All right, now here's what we're going to do. We did a rep physically and mentally. Now I'm going to challenge you. Go further round 3. Push yourself. Put your arm out. Feet planted. Now turn around 3. See how far you can go. Ready, set, go. Push yourself. Nice. Bring it back. If you went further, round 3, say us.
Us.
Let's go. Y'all went further round 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want you to take 1 minute, sit down, and talk to a neighbor and ask them, why do you think we went further round 3? Talk to a neighbor. Sit down. Go. All right, squad, bring it back. Bring it back. Now, Coach Chris, here's a question you can ask your team throughout the year at practice and in games during timeouts. Is you're going to say, where are you? Team, I want you to say right here. All right, squad, where are you?
Right here.
Where are you?
Right here.
The moment is here, are you? Let's go. All right. What did y'all think? How were you able to go further that third time?
Oh, okay. Well, I think that I was able to go further because when the first time I did it, I was really thinking about myself, like my limit there. I wasn't really thinking about I could go farther than my limit. I'm like, hey, this hurts trying to go as far, trying to go as far as my knee, I probably shouldn't try to turn my knee any farther. This is getting rough. And then when I thought about it, I realized, hey, I can actually go farther if I just relax and do it, and I can make that. Yeah, that's what I think.
That's great. You know what that reminds me of? One of my favorite quotes. That's my like core catchphrase is the body has limits, but the mind is limitless.
There you go.
That's a savage quote right there. You think you can't go further? That's your mind saying, "Oh, I can't do it." But guess what? You can go further. Your body's saying you can't, but you can override what you think you can do when you change your thinking, when you change your thoughts. That's really good. Who else?
Oh, well, that kind of reminds me of like what I think of before games is like I think I envision myself being better than I know that I am, and like being better than I know other people are on the court. And so when I actually get in the game, like I can try to live up to that mentality, live up to what I said, and it's just like puts like a spot in my mind where when I get on the court, I'm like, I need to be that good, and like I've envisioned myself doing this good all day, and I need to live up to that representation I put into my mind.
Well, I like that you start with that because here's a truth in high performance. It begins before it begins. Worry is simply visualizing what you don't want. That's what worry is. And everything happens twice, first in our mind, then in real life. Everything happens twice, first in our mind, then in real life. So if you're going about your day in class, in the hallway, on the bus to the gym, in the locker room, and you're rehearsing what could go wrong, you're rehearsing don't miss a shot, don't get punked on defense, what are you commanding your brain and your subconscious and your nervous system to do?
What you were thinking?
Yeah, what you don't want. So why would you rehearse in your mind failure? What you're doing is actually a very evidence-based thing, mental rehearsal of what you want to create. There's research out of the University of Chicago. They looked at free throw shooting. They had 3 groups. Group 1 would practice shooting free throws every day. Group 2, no practice. Group 3 would close their eyes and visualize making free throws. After the month of doing that work, Group 1 who practiced making free throws, shooting them, increased their percentage by 24%. Group 2, no practice, no improvement. Group 3, who visualized making baskets, didn't touch a ball for a month, but visualized it. When they did their test again, they increased their percentage by 23%. So imagine if you put the work in physically and the work in mentally. Write down this acronym, TBT. TBT, that's not Throwback Thursday. Write this down. Thoughts become things. TBT. Thoughts become things. So when you're in a timeout during a dead ball, train your brain to see yourself executing what you want. Stop spending time on visualizing what you don't want, because your brain is a magnet. Who else? How are you able to go further round 3?
Through my thoughts, I kind of like I had a thought that I kind of experienced it, and so why not try harder than the first time? And so through my thought, or the vision that I had the second time, it was like, well, I executed it in my head. I can probably execute it in my body.
That's good. Now, what helped influence you to see yourself go further? What was different round 1 versus round 2?
It was, I think, yeah, confidence.
But did you hear my voice coaching you?
I did.
Yeah, but did that help, hearing a voice, guide your effort?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Helping you see. So, who thinks confidence is a good thing? How do you train confidence?
By doing the action.
That putting the work in. But how many times have you put the work in and you freaking sucked during the game? Yeah, you're not wrong. You're right. That's part of it. But watch this. Research from the BBC lab in the UK, 44,000 patients, they found that self-talk is the #1 driver of confident action. Self-talk, your inner voice. What I did is I gave you different words to think and feel that activated you going beyond. True?
Yeah.
Yeah, all I did was use language to create a different picture in your mind. So I'm going to draw y'all a diagram, all right? This is called 4D thinking. The brain thinks in 4 dimensions. Can y'all see the whiteboard?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first dimension are words. Words is the first dimension. What happens when you hear a word or verbalize a word or even see a word in writing? That activates the second dimension, which is a picture that the brain sees. First dimension is words. So words are tools. Words are your wand. Words create worlds. Words create pictures that the brain sees. Now watch this very closely. The word that created the picture creates the third dimension, is an emotion the body feels. Did you hear my words command you to feel tension in your core, to feel your body going further?
Yeah.
That was, you can put feeling. It doesn't, either one works for me. Now look at this. This is the last one. The fourth dimension is your beliefs. So a word creates a picture the brain sees, an emotion the body feels, a belief that the soul holds. And this is your self-image. Watch this very closely. You never outperform your self-image. What does that mean when I say that? Just think about that. What does that mean when I say you never outperform your beliefs about yourself? You never outperform your self-image.
If you believe you're bad, then you're not gonna be better than what you think you are.
Yeah, that's great. I can't finish with my offhand at the rim. So what is that word signaling to your brain and your body to store and your belief to execute?
You can't do it.
Yeah, or this team, we can't beat this team on the road. You're using words to create pictures and feelings, and they're anchoring beliefs. So why would you ever talk trash about yourself? Why would you ever verbalize out loud what you can't do? The body produces over 300 billion cells per day. Your cells are listening. Your cells are eavesdropping on your thoughts. All I did, fam, was give you a different set of words, huh? I guided you, your thinking and your thoughts and your pictures and your feelings of something beyond. I defined confidence as belief beyond. Confidence is belief beyond. Confidence isn't, I'll make every shot. Confidence is like, I'm going to figure it out. It takes a professional to go 0 for 13 to keep shooting. I can see beyond the last rep. I can see beyond the last quarter, the last series. I believe, hey, look good, felt good, next one will be good. If there's one gift I can give you, is change how you communicate to yourself about yourself. Because what you say to yourself has 10 times the power. What you say to yourself has 10 times the power. I'm going to give you 2 bad examples. In the 1986 World Series, there's a first baseman named Bill Buckner that made one of the most famous errors in all of baseball. They were playing the Mets, Game 6. They haven't won a World Series since 1918. It's 86. 2 runners on, 2 outs. All they got to do is get 1 out. The ball gets hit to the first baseman, Bill Buckner. The ball goes through his legs. 2 runners scored. They lost Game 6, lost Game 7, lost the World Series. 12 days before, ESPN E60 found archive footage of an interview he did at local Boston TV. This is what he said on camera. Listen to what he said. Yeah, the dreams are you have success and win, but the nightmare is, I don't want to be the guy that lets the ball go between my legs that cost us the World Series. Sometimes these things happen. It's just fate. Oh, hell no. Can you catch yourself having stinking thinking? You want to make buckets? Stop verbalizing stupid stuff out loud. That's like negative. Why would you use words against you? Why? I prove to you, when you use better words, better pictures, better feelings, does your performance improve? Does your belief about what is possible, does that elevate? Okay.
Yes.
The other bad story So, you know that one of my mentors, rest in peace, his name is Trevor Moad. He was Russell Wilson's mental conditioning coach, worked with Alabama and Nick Saban for 8 years, worked with Kirby Smart at Georgia, worked with the LA Clippers, with the Mets, with the Grizzlies, worked with Navy SEALs. I watched him tell this story a million times. It was a story about a Russian railway worker. His job was to work inside a freezer car at night. One night when he was on shift, he was inside doing his work. The outside latch got closed. He was trapped inside this freezer car. And based on his training, he had 8 hours to live. So he's in there freezing. And he finds a piece of paper and he finally writes, I have 4 hours to live. I can't feel my hands and my feet. He finally wrote, I'm going to die in this freezer car. They found him dead the next day. While they're doing research on what happened, they found that the freezer apparatus was broken. It was 54 degrees in the freezer car. He thought himself to death, even though it's not true. Look at this. Our beliefs are not based on truth. They're based on the perception of the truth. Think that one through. Our beliefs are not based on truth. Who says you can't finish with your offhand? Who says we can't beat that team in our district? Who says we can't win a state championship? Who? Yourself. So why would you limit yourself by verbalizing negativity? Yourselves are listening to your thoughts. TBT, thoughts become things. Okay, what happens when we change our beliefs? What happens? What happens when we use better words to describe ourselves? You ever heard someone say, I always forget names. I'm not a morning person. I'm bad with directions. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Why would you be verbalizing stupid stuff out loud like that? Oh, you want to lose? Keep being negative. So here's a different story. There's a student named Eric. Early in his school experience, he was labeled by teachers not very smart. School's hard for him. He's disruptive in class. He was given words that created pictures and feelings and beliefs about, I'm not a good student. Now he's a junior in high school. He's getting D's and F's, getting in fights, not doing his homework. He's lived up to the moniker, not a good student. Who's taken the SAT test? Was it's the SAT test or the ACT? No. But y'all have heard of it. Y'all have heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 800 verbal, 800 math. So 1600 to measure your smarts. Okay. He's like, I'm not taking tests. I'm not going to college. His mom's like, take the test. Like, fine, I'll take the test. So he doesn't study, shows up, had to borrow a pen, starts taking the test. It's really hard. It's a Scantron, did different bubbles. He tries it cheap, but every question was different for those kids around him, so he had to do it himself. He's able to finish with like 1 minute left. 2 months goes by. He gets the results back. His mom gets an envelope from the SAT board. She's having her morning coffee. So she opens the envelope and reads the results from the SAT, and she can't believe it. I mean, she had to pull out her glasses and put her cheaters on to see, is this the right thing I'm reading? Is this the right name? Yeah, it's my son. Oh my gosh. And she says, Eric, come in here. She yells at her son. It's like 6:45 in the morning. He's like, Mom, why are you yelling at me? It's too early. Simmer down. And knowing her son, she asked him one question. Did you cheat on that test? You know what he said? Hey, Mama, I tried to cheat. Every question was different. Give him an A for honesty. She's like, Look at this. You got a 1480 out of 1600. You're smart. You got a 1480. And guess what happened? Boom. A different belief. He's like, whoa, I'm smart. Holy crap. Maybe he was like, whoa, cool. I'm smart. Huh. I don't know what he said, but. So now he's got June, July, and August to rewire. Neurons that fire together, wire together. He was repeating to himself, I'm smart, I'm a 1480. He had a different picture and a feeling about his ability to execute. He had a different belief. So guess what he did during that school year? He did great in school, started doing his homework, started going to class, started trying hard, knew his teacher's name, stopped hanging out with the wrong kids, was able to graduate. Because his grades were so crappy his freshman, sophomore, junior, he had to go to a community college, then went to Wichita State, 4-year degree, then went to an Ivy League to get his master's degree. Then after that, he was a leading magazine entrepreneur, CEO, killing life, getting paid. He's now married and has 2 daughters. He goes back home to see his mom over Christmas. And his mom said something interesting. She said, "Hey, Eric, I got this envelope from Princeton, New Jersey from the SAT board."
Oh, I've heard this.
It's like, yeah, open it. Yeah, open it. So they look at the results and they said, "Dear Eric, we apologize, but we pride ourselves, so the SAT board, to have the utmost grading policies and procedures of evaluating test scores. You were one of 18 students that got sent the wrong score. You actually got a 740.
Wow.
Wow.
So they both looked at each other and they were like, huh. I guess it really wasn't the test score that I read that changed my life. What changed my life is I had a different set of beliefs. But look at this. Your beliefs drive your behaviors. Your beliefs drive your behaviors. What he did that changed his life was accept a different kind of language to communicate himself about himself. He was coding his brain. Words are tools. This is the brain's the software, your body's the hardware. He had different coding of the software, which is your brain, that changed better pictures, better emotions, better beliefs. And his life changed. He started to act like a 1480. His intelligence didn't change. His aptitude didn't change. His IQ didn't change. What changed? He was conditioning a different set of beliefs that drive his behaviors. So how can you use this now tonight? I'm going to pause. Y'all can discuss. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst a different partner. Turn to a different partner this time. How can we use what we learned today, tonight, and this season? Changing our self-talk, changing what we verbalize, changing what we focus on to get behind the right behaviors of greatness. So talk amongst a partner. Go. All right, squad, where are you?
Right here.
Right here.
Where are you?
Right here.
I want a power clap on 3. 1, 2, 3. Power clap on 3. 1, 2, 3. Can we get that in sync? Power clap on 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. The reason why I do that power clap is I want you to disrupt the pattern. When you notice stinking thinking, negative words, you have the power to redirect where you give your energy. Words are tools. Words are tools. Words are tools. Your words are your wand. Words create worlds. All Eric did was see a different set of numbers that were like words that create a different picture, an emotion, a different belief. So what did y'all get out of today? What did y'all hear? Somebody heard something or something that you shared? Yeah, exactly. What y'all just you guys had like 2 minutes to kind of talk through how you're going to use this tonight and during the season.
One thing I think we should definitely do is our coach has put a lot of emphasis on saying like good when somebody makes like a mistake. Really emphasizing that tonight and throughout the rest of the season, but not saying like my bad and like dwelling on the mistakes, but just refocusing each time and knowing what you want to do, what you can do, and the whole team together, like in like timeouts and quarters, halftime, coming together and just like refocusing and lifting each other up and just saying good.
Yeah, having a reset word, that's good. Using language to reset, to break the pattern, to get back present. I love that. What else? That's great.
Not comparing our team to the other team.
not thinking, like, even if they're known to be good, not not believing that they're better than you, or just like not focusing on that part of it.
Mm-hmm. That's great. This is from old school mindset teacher Earl Nightingale. You become what you think about most of the time. So if you're verbalizing and thinking we're not as good as them, guess what you're going to create? You're not as good as them. You're not as good as them. How can you become what you don't believe? It's hard. That's a great one. Why we verbalize negative stuff out loud? That's great. Who else?
I guess just like have a positive mindset, like like when you're taking a shot, you know, just say, hey, this is a good shot, or like, or this is gonna go in, or when you go in there and you're gonna guard your guy and you think he's just gonna run circles around you, well, don't think that. Say it, or like think that you're gonna stay on your guy and defend him really good, and
Yeah, set your intention by using words and pictures and feelings and beliefs. Like set your intention. All right, I'm going to focus on this today. I'm going to focus on what I can do in this matchup. I'm going to focus on during this timeout. What am I going to try to execute? You're pausing and shifting your intention to what you want to create, not what you don't want to have happen. We call this focusing on your do's, not your don'ts. Do get low on defense. Do attack the rim. Do not let him go to his strong side. You know, so you use language to focus on where you want to go, right?
Yep.
yeah.
So I've been 3 years with UCLA, the women's basketball team. We're ranked first in the country. I've been training that team and their coaching staff for the last 3 years. And the two things that we measured this past year, I'm really proud of. One measurement that I called next play speed. How fast can you get to the next play? Do you let one bad turnover or one bad mistake turn to a bad play the next time on the court or on defense? Our stats team actually measured. We led the conference last year in positive plays after a live ball turnover. We led the conference. Do you go from bad to worse because you're beating yourself up? Replaying the bad mistake and then projecting what you don't want to have happen next time? No, we go next play speed. Get back to the next play quick. Stay present. We also led the conference in executing after timeouts, where we set our intention, we shift our attention to our intention. What are we executing out of this out of bounds? That's a mental thing. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's using language and using your thoughts, words, behaviors, can do all in alignment. Okay? Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I'd say one of the main things that I want to focus on, because I used to focus on this a lot when I first started out playing basketball, because like my dad would tell me and stuff. But one thing that I need to refocus on is definitely like envision myself constantly doing the right thing. Like whether that be, you know, constantly envisioning me being able to make a left-handed layup, you know, over and over and over again with no mistakes. So that, you know, like when you get in the game, you don't have any negative visions that you have in the back of your mind. Yeah.
That's great. What you're doing is you're getting a mental rep training neural pathways and mental grooves to execute the way you want it. Here's a fact about the power of the mind. The brain and the body cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. The brain and the body cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. Worry is visualizing what you don't want. Worry is visualizing your fears. Where mental conditioning is visualizing and seeing what you do want. There was a study from the Cleveland Clinic looked at weightlifting, and they had two groups. Group 1 would lift weights every day for a month. Group 2 would simply visualize lifting weights. The group that lifted weights increased their strength by 30% after that month time period. The group that didn't touch a weight but simply visualized it increased their strength by almost half, 13.5%. Let's go. Mind gym, baby. Mind gym. Let's go. We can't just exercise. We got to exercise. So what are the 3 things we can train?
Body, mind, craft, and mind.
In this short 35, 40-minute mind gym mindset workout, what did we learn today? What did we learn today?
That words are tools.
Yeah, words are tools. Good. What else?
Worrying is only visualizing what is bad, and so it's making you think that, or it's going to make you do the bad thing.
Yeah. Everything happens. Finish this sentence. Everything happens twice. First in our mind, then in
Real life.
real life. Yeah. So why would you visualize and verbalize stuff you don't want?
Okay, like our brain's like way more in control than we thought.
Yeah, you have the power of free will. And you have the power and freedom to verbalize and think what you want. But here's a challenge. Who knows what % of human thoughts are negative?
90.
That's pretty close. Research from the National Science Foundation, 80% of human thoughts are negative. And 95% of human thoughts are reoccurring. Our beliefs and behaviors right now are hardwired. 95% of your personality and your thoughts and behaviors are hardwired. So that's where this mental conditioning comes in. Our self-talk, what we're visualizing, what we're verbalizing. Think, speak, and do how you want to be. This is from Gandhi. I'm gonna paraphrase this. You would never let someone with dirty, muddy feet walk through your house. Why would you let negative thinking ruminate in your brain? Part of the power of the mental work is to notice an unproductive thought and with compassion, gently move to something more empowering. Your first thought will be negative, but your second, third, fourth thought doesn't have to be if your mind is trained. Do you see what I'm saying? So let's commit tonight. How do you experience yourself? Let's create a better environment with productive thinking, with abundance, with love, with speaking and seeing. Hey, I'll get the next one. I am here. I am present. I'm going to attack. Affirm who you are. Let's create an environment. How do people experience you? Let's verbalize belief. Let's verbalize support. Let's be a great teammate. Let's show with our behaviors and our effort we belong here. We're going to attack. We can't control outcomes, but we can control what we think, say, and do. So are y'all fired up?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right, I got one question. Where are you?
Right here.
Where are you?
Right here.
Where are you?
Right here.
The moment is here. Are you? Y'all have a great game tonight and a great season.
Thank you.
Is there any questions?
Actually, I have one. When did you like realize first off that you needed to get your mindset right? Like, was it like high school, college?
When I was in college, and then when I was after graduate school, when I was working, and I was stressed out all the time.
So is it like was it that season opener against Idaho?
Yeah, well, that like was the first time where I really saw, man, I trained so hard physically, and it really meant nothing because I didn't train mentally. And then when I got out of school, when I was really struggling, I changed companies. This was 2014. I had a sales coach that was basically like, dude, it's all about the brain. It's all about mindset. There's these business books, but here's these books on neuroscience. If you learn these concepts, your life and your cells are going to grow, and he wasn't wrong. So that's what really kick-started it.
I have one quick question. When you, like, as far as visualizing goes, like in your opinion, if we're as a team going to visualize shooting 10 free throws, in the game tonight we're shooting free throws, are you a fan of visualizing like the crowd and the noise and the hecklers, or do you focus purely on just like I'm in an empty gym shooting a free throw, or you know what I'm saying? Like when you if I'm guiding the team through that visualization, do you draw attention to the environment, Or do you just focus purely on your body and the feeling of the basketball and your, like, what you can see and the hoop, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think there's a few ways you can do it. I think maybe I'll just give you one last tool today. I call it OPS, Optimal Performance State. Optimal Performance State. And this was inspired by soccer great Pele. Anybody heard of that name? Pele. Yep. So this would be something that you would do in the locker room, at home, at night, in the morning, on the bus. Like you would spend OPS, optimal. So this is right here, creating better pictures. Optimal performance state, OPS. Like you're creating a state mentally and physically that's going to optimize how you perform. Because it begins before it begins. If you just roll out on the court without priming your mind, the odds of you doing well is kind of random, correct? Like I asked you the question, have you ever warmed up and you couldn't miss in the game, you couldn't make a bucket, or vice versa? Warm-ups, you couldn't make it in the game, you couldn't miss? It's just, or it's like a combination of both. It's just kind of random. Well, let's get our mind warmed up before, and there's dead balls throughout the game, correct? There's timeouts. It's a new quarter, so there's time and the bench with time to yourself. So OPS, 3 things we can do for OPS, okay? The first one, this is from Pele, is to think back when the game was not stressful, when it was just a game, when you were like 9, 10, 11 years old, when there was no crowd, no pressure, you were playing for the joy. Like connect to the love of basketball. I guarantee James Naismith, when he went in basketball, never said, I'm going to create a game that creates anxiety.
Yeah.
So just connect to, man, this is just a game. I'm not defined by this. This is just a game. Really, it's just a game. It's just basketball. The second thing I want you to do is called to look back. Look back to your best performances, all your practicing, when you've executed in that spot. This is called mental rehearsal, mental recall. You're reminding your brain, I can make free throws. I have a list of like 3 or 4 examples when under pressure situations, I've done this. So we're going to look to joy, we're going to look back, and then we're going to look up. Look up means in your mind, see it with all your senses, yourself executing how you want to execute. You can put the crowd in there, you can put the field of basketball, you can put whatever you want. Simulate it as if you are already there and see what you want. There's a lot of examples of one of my favorite athletes is Drew Brees. Drew Brees every Saturday night would do mental rehearsal without a ball. His whole plan out in the field, like all his checks, all his reads. There's images of LeBron James working on his post moves without a ball, doing all his spins, finishing at the rim. So when you take the ball away, watch this. You get a perfect rep. When you take the ball away, in your mind, you get a perfect rep. Does that make sense? Because when you take the ball away, you'll see it go in every time, correct? So you're getting the mental grooves and the neural pathways of what you actually want to create. Does that answer? That's a long answer, but that's a good question.
Anything else? All right. Well, Colin, fantastic. Super, super grateful. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this conversation with Collin Henderson. And until next time, we will see you on the Pursuit of Purpose. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Chris Kiefer, and my mission is to champion the relentless pursuit of purpose. And what that means to me is to be an example, a champion, someone that is in the trenches, working and showing and winning and trying and failing in how to pursue a deeper and more meaningful life with the people that I love, with my kids, with my friends, with our family, and also just be a champion and example of entrepreneurship and following my passion and doing what I believe I'm called to on this earth. And so if that inspires you in some way, please share this episode. If you want, like, subscribe, share, whatever, do all the stuff. It means the world to me to get this message and get these guests that I have out there. And if you're interested in any of the book recommendations or looking up other episodes, the movie list, You can visit my website, chriskiefer.com, for all the details on the show, and also check out the Boolean review software, as well as the Boolean automation consulting company that I own for home service businesses. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.